Welcome back to the Breaker Bros, and we are here live right at the pick, the 92nd pick of the draft. But I guess we can have initial reaction to the second round pick. Wait, how do you feel about DJ Turner?
It made sense to me. I mean, we were thinking maybe corner in the first round, so it makes sense to get a corner in the second round.
Yo, we just traded our pick to the Chiefs.
What are we doing? We get Mahomes?
We literally just traded our pick to the Chiefs.
Interesting. What do we get?
I don't know. I guess we're about to find out. I guess.
Okay. Well, we'll have to find that out. So,
Trying to hear what they got.
I remember DJ Turner was really fast. Is he like a 4.3 40 guy?
Yeah, he's extremely fast.
Yeah. So I mean, it fits exactly what the Bengals like, right? Super fast in the secondary. So I feel like it fits exactly what Lou Anarumo looks for. I think there's just been a concerted effort to get faster in the back end, right? I mean, if you want to play in the secondary for the Bengals, you better be a burner.
Okay, so do you think we're going to trade back into the third? Why would we?
Did we not get the Chiefs pick?
No. Well, wait, hold on. Maybe we did. It's just I'm going off of PFF, and currently, maybe we did get the Chiefs pick, and it just hasn't updated on PFF.
Yeah, it has us at 32 now.
Okay.
Us at 32.
Okay, good.
So we just traded back.
Okay, all right.
If they even picked Darnell Washington, I'll be disappointed. It's just weird.
I don't see them picking Darnell Washington, but I mean, supposedly maybe he's got like a knee injury. I think that's what the speculation is. That's why he slid so far.
Okay.
Or isn't the lineman from
who the Chiefs are going to pick? The pick is in. Oh, they're already up at the board on the TV.
Yeah, but isn't DeJuan Jones still on the board? So he could also be our third round pick.
We're passing it on.
What's going on?
I said pass that coughed on.
Oh. Yeah, I think DeJuan Jones could be a possibility. So far, the hack has not worked.
Oh, it doesn't work anymore?
Well, hold on. I'm about to do it again. It still shows on the clock. I think there's a bit of delay when you trade.
Well, the Chiefs pick is in, according to...
Well, no, I get that. I'm just saying...
Oh, the Ohio State tackle.
That's who they picked?
No. You said DeJuan Jones. I was like trying to get through the...
I'm just saying potential third round picks. Yeah, see, now it's finally updated on PFF that we have the other pick. I was about to say. Oops. Picked the wrong thing. They picked a tackle.
2-6.
Wayna Morris.
Interesting.
Yeah, especially with DeJuan Jones being on the board still, but his weight.
Well, but I mean, does that mean that the Bengals feel good about their tackles, right? That they're willing to trade to a rival?
I just feel like they feel pretty comfortable for what they have. And plus, you can't discredit that they signed that Ford guy.
The Bengals?
Yeah. I'm still assuming that it's Jonah until we actually trade him. But I just don't see a team Well, I guess it seemed like it was possible. The Jags were kind of interested, but I feel like the pick for oh yeah, it says the pick is in. All right, hold on.
Oh, really? In the next? Oh, the Steelers.
Yeah.
Hmm. What? What happened?
No, I'm just listening to them because they're just saying why that tackle was named Wanya. It was after Boys to Men or something.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Like one of
Can you
the
sing?
Boys to Men's, I guess, members was named Wanya or whatever. I did not realize that, but I need to turn that down actually. But yeah, I guess my initial gut feeling was that we would always get a corner at least in the second. But I also thought that would be the assumption that we got a tight end in the first.
Yeah.
But like it feels like it's a really good pick for the Bengals, and it just seems like the Bengals got their guy, and getting another corner at 4-3, and we basically have we have to have one of the younger, I would say, backfields or not backfields, but one of the best or fastest DB groups in the league, and probably youngest too. So I think they have a lot to prove, but it should be interesting. I think we're set up for the future pretty good, and it looks like when some of these other contracts are up on defense, we're going to be able to pick and choose because we're not going to be able to keep everyone in terms of like Hendrickson and Cheeto, and then Hilton is eventually going to be up. So, I mean, out of those, we're probably going to maybe keep one of them, and it seems like we've already got the backups for two of them. So,
Yeah.
So I think we're set up good for now. Like they're going to add really good rotation pieces and depth, and it just feels like we're building a pretty solid team. I feel like I understand the direction of the Bengals now. Like you can sense the blueprint, right? Which I think you kind of talked about it, was that the Bengals are going to have to rely on a lot of rookies or rookie contracts, I should say, to be able to keep all these high-powered offensive pieces. So it makes sense. I mean, we got two players that are going to be able to eventually replace two starters. So we're not going to really have to sweat about it. We're also going to be in a position to where, every offseason, not every offseason, but the last 2 or 3 offseasons, we've just been able to pick the best available veteran as well as the best available player in the draft. So it seems like we're setting ourselves up to do that for the next 3 to 4 more years. So I feel pretty good. I guess the only thing you could say could potentially be a problem would be right tackle. But then if you really think about it, it's like, it seems like they're going to rely on Collins, and we still have Collins for one more year. Like, I would say Collins is probably going to start on the pup, and maybe he'll come in at some point in the year, but we still have him for one more year. So, like, right tackle is not necessarily an immediate need. Oh, the Steelers took Darnell Washington.
Are you serious?
Serious.
Man, we are so stupid.
I don't think we wanted Darnell Washington. If we really wanted Darnell Washington, we wouldn't have traded back, right?
I don't know. Maybe they played with fire and got burned. I don't know.
But don't get me wrong. He's one of those players where, like, kind of like Emmanuel, where, like, okay, if he gets drafted to another team, as long as it's not a divisional rival. So yeah, this one stings because it's like Now he's going to be blocking us in the backfield. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
Mm-hmm.
everything that we wanted him to do for us, he's going to be doing for the Steelers. And they'll be like, how did this guy slip to the third round?
Yeah.
It's going to be like the.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm actually excited. I could tell Lou's pumped up. I mean, the first two picks, defensive players, fast for their position.
I don't like it, man.
You don't like that Darnell Washington went to the Steelers, but
No.
Michael Wilson
No.
for the
Like, what did we
Cardinals.
get for moving back in the third round? Do we get anybody that's gonna play next year?
Hold up. Did we trade our pick again?
No.
No, I think
we're
we
on the
did.
clock.
Huh?
Are you serious?
I don't see our pick anymore, unless it's glitched again on PFF.
We'll show it on mine, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I see Michael Wilson, and now it's Cardinals again.
Cardinals?
Yeah, the Cardinals.
Did we trade back? Did they skip us?
Hold on, this could just be a glitch. Hold on.
Okay. It's a glitch in the matrix.
No, I still see the Cardinals. Did we trade back again?
Possible.
Hold on. Where were they? We would only trade back one, though. I think this is just glitched. Maybe they understand I know the hack.
And now they're hacking you.
Yeah, now they're hacking me. All right, I'm clicking the Bengals. Enter draft. Yeah, right now it says on the clock, Lions. And it says next. Did we trade with the Lions?
No, it says the Bengals pick is in on my board.
Why is this thing tripping? All right. Maybe that's weird. All right. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to wait.
Yeah, they got they got the Bengals stuff on the TV.
Okay, good. I was freaking out. No, David says
Okay.
that we have the 30-second pick. Yeah, no, it was weird. I mean, I try like on the live draft tracker, it has the correct order, but then on the simulator, it has us as the Lions for some reason.
Yeah.
So who are you hoping right now?
I don't know, man. I'm crushed.
Eh.
I thought it fell perfectly for us. We were talking about Darnell Washington in the first round.
Yeah, no,
We could have had him.
I agree,
And
but then
instead we traded back 4 picks in the third round. What did we get? Like a 6th rounder or 7th rounder?
I don't know. Did you hear it on your end? I didn't hear it on
No,
mine.
I didn't hear.
Okay.
But I mean, to me, it's just like,
I'm just gonna keep it on the
see
screen.
what we get.
Man, this is awesome, but I really want to hear the pick.
Come on. Who we got?
Okay, I'm gonna try the hack one more time. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Battle. Safety. Alabama.
That's who we got?
Yeah. Is that who I think it is? Did we not mention him as a earlier pick, or are there 2 draftable safeties from Alabama?
No, I think the safety that we were, or no, maybe I guess
Oh,
maybe
Brian Branch we were talking about. Another B last name. Um, there he is, Jordan Battle. He's
yeah.
ranked 82, 4.55. So he's the 50th ranked safety on PFF last year, but in 21 he was the 12th ranked.
Okay.
Take that for what it's worth.
So that's 3 defensive picks with the first 3 picks of the draft. So
Mm-hmm.
we're just getting so much younger on defense.
Yeah, you gotta save that money. Gotta save that cap space.
It's smart. This to me feels like a death of 1,000 paper cuts type deal, where we're like building a lot of depth.
Oh, depth?
Yeah.
I thought you said death.
No, depth.
Depth.
I hope not death.
Depth.
That would be horrible. But
Well, but that's a saying.
well, no, that's what I'm saying.
So
Death.
you coined a new phrase, is what you're saying.
What do you mean? Well, maybe I just said it wrong, but I'm just saying it's just dying by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah,
That's kind of how I see our defense, is just that we're going to be able to rotate guys in, keep them fresh. But I guess this safety, I mean, I'm sure this is more of a depth piece and a potential future starter, but
mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you could start day one, right? Who are the starters at safety?
No, I think that Scott, I mean, I think he has potential to start in the future, but I'm pretty sure the one that they signed in the offseason, Scott, is going to be the starter.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like the other, like our backup, I think is Wilson. So I think he's replaceable in a sense, right?
Did he even play last year?
I think he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming at some point it almost feels like we're lining up to draft like a Wiley. I feel like, or maybe I'm hoping one of the Bearcats. Because I feel like at some point we're going to address receiver. Maybe we won't do tight end at all. I mean, it's starting to look like.
I don't know. I feel like the rug's been pulled out from me twice in this draft. I thought for sure we were going to get either Nolan Smith or Michael Mayer in the first round. And then I thought for sure we were going to get Darnell Washington this round. And it didn't happen.
Well,
so
I think for me, like, and I agree because we both were high on Washington, right? And we both went at Mayer.
You talked me into him, so really it's kind of your fault.
It is kind of my fault, but you would think I would be a little bit more upset, but at the same time, like I always default to like the coaches know more than what we know, and then
well, of course they know more than we know, but can a guy dream?
Right, but I mean, you admitted yourself that like we kind of have like a wheelhouse at tight end, so like that's our structure right now. We take veterans that are willing to do like the minimum contract for 1 year, and then they ball out, and then they get that bigger contract the next year.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean it makes sense.
David says, what the heck, Darnell would have been a good needs choice. Yeah, I mean I agree, but
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying this is like, I thought we were going to get like dessert. Instead, we got like, vegetables. Like, that vegetables are the right choice.
Right.
But, I thought when they lifted up the silver platter, we were going to get, like some fancy dessert, some offensive dudes that are going to score some touchdowns.
Well,
instead we got vegetables, which is what we need.
I'm just saying, okay, well, let's just say hypothetically, right?
Hypothetically, okay.
Before the end of the draft, we do get Wiley. At the very least, we get Wiley from Cincinnati.
That would make up for it. I would get so excited.
He would make the most sense at this point because
than if the Bengals drafted Josh Wiley.
Well, because he he's going to be a little bit more of a developmental guy. So like it'll give him a year or two to kind of like establish himself, and he could be like literally a home run pick at
Dude,
this
I
point.
think Wiley's going to be a stud the second he steps onto the NFL field, man.
Okay, well
I
then
don't.
if we get him
I
in the
don't.
5th round, then that's huge, or maybe the 4th round, right? I think at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like, why are we waiting? I mean, tight ends have gone way earlier than people projected. I mean, Mayer dropped out of the 1st round, but after Mayer dropped out of the 1st round, how many tight ends were picked in the 2nd round? Like, what tight end number are we on in terms of picks in this draft?
I think there's been
Is it
7
like
already.
7? So we're talking like the 8th tight end now. But
Yeah,
there's been
because in the
7 in the
start
first
of
3
the
rounds.
3rd, it was Benton Strange, I think, that was picked.
Okay.
But I don't know. I like the direction that we're going because again we're just establishing that depth, and like say we went with the tight end, right, and say they were mediocre at best, right, and then we go into
Okay.
next year or next off season, and we don't have that potential backup pass rusher because we can't resign Hendrickson, or we don't have that corner. You know, we're just in a better position. So it's like, I don't know. In a way, like I don't want to say they're not sexy picks.
I want to say there have been 8. There have been 8 tight ends picked so far. So in the 2nd
crazy.
round, you had Sam Laporta going 34, Michael Mayer going 35. Shout out to Andy. I told you Laporta was going to get picked before Mayer. So you have Laporta, Mayer. So that's 2 in the 2nd round. Musgrave going to 42. So that was 3 in the 2nd round.
There's only 3 in the 2nd round. I thought there was 4.
No, Schoonmaker 158. So that's 4. And then Brenton Strange went 61. So that's 5. 5 tight ends in the 2nd round, plus 1 in the 1st round and 2 in the 3rd round. So we're on to like the 8th tight end. But so meaning, or the point I'm trying to make is that tight ends are going way higher than the PFF big board, right? Would lead you to believe, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about there being a lot of tight end depth. Like the front line guys went lower than expected, but kind of the middle tier guys went higher than expected. So now you're looking at guys like Davis Allen, Zach Kuntz, Payne Durham, and Josh Wiley are all available now. So, I mean, what else does that mean? That means that 8 teams that pick tight ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would expect that those 8 teams probably aren't going to double dip in the fourth round, So maybe the Bengals need to get their tight end in the 4th round. Because if you wait
I'm thinking 4th if they want to get their guy. And honestly, like, because tight ends are going so hot.
Oh,
like,
Dave had it. It's 8 tight ends off the board.
Yeah. Still, that's a lot. 8 tight ends? That's crazy.
In 3 rounds.
Yeah, just 3 rounds. So it's probably what? You think it would be 12 by the end of the draft? Conservatively?
Well, I don't know. How many picks are there in the draft?
Like 250 something? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, 250 something. That sounds right. So 102 through 3 rounds. So Pro Football Focus, keep quoting them because I paid for it. Had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tight ends ranked in the top 100. And then Brenton Strange was picked a little bit higher than they ranked it. They had him ranked as a 4th rounder, I guess. So now you've got Allen, Kuntz, Durham, and Wiley. So I'm hoping for Wiley. Make it up to me, Bengals. Pick Wiley in the 4th round. We need this. We need it.
Wait, are you? Did you say you were on PFF?
Yeah. Why?
What is Wiley rated right now?
He's ranked there. He's their 200th rated prospect.
200 out
But
of 250.
he was ranked their second highest tight end when he was a freshman in 2020. And then 21 and 22, he slipped a little bit.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
I would say last year, going to the games, I would watch him, and I swear he was always open. Always open.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, trying to think if there's no, because I think all the other guys that it seemed like that were tied to the Bengals were picked within the first. The first 3 rounds for sure. First. It was like the first half of the third round. It's like early in the third, because I think I was thinking potentially in the third we could get that Tucker. Was it Tucker Kraft? But he went kind of early in the third. So at that point, it was pretty much like all the top, like, prospect tight ends. But again, I think maybe some people are sleeping on Wiley just because, like, it's a smaller school and he's just not as known. Well, I guess some of those other players were from smaller schools too, so it's just weird. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's a mystery.
So, do you think you could give the Bengals a grade after 3 rounds right now, or do you want to, like, wait until the end of the draft?
How about this? How about we talk about the Vikings?
The Vikings?
Dave, give us a grade for the Vikings. And then you grade the Bengals while he's thinking, because I know there's like a delay. What's your grade?
Right now? It's hard
Yeah.
because, like, I think it's so funny because, like, your general Bengals fan, right, is completely different than what the Bengals have. Well, I shouldn't say completely different because, like, various people had certain picks. Well, Murphy, I don't know. Murphy was kind of those picks where I think a lot of people just didn't expect him to be there.
Whoa,
And we had
Vikings
other
get a C from
C,
Dave.
okay. Yeah, I
Tough
mean,
grader.
I don't know. Like, it's hard for
if
me
the
to.
Vikings even pick Wiley at 102, I'll be so pissed.
I would give
I
him
feel
a
like
B
every
plus
tight end I talk about.
because.
Whoa, 49ers took a kicker.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Hold up. The 49ers?
You go 49ers. Everybody pick kickers. Everybody do it.
What?
Raiders, you need a kicker. Just have a run on kickers until the Bengals pick again.
Actually, you know what? The trend is, it wouldn't surprise me if the Bengals get a defensive tackle the next pick. I know it's going to hurt you, especially if we
they're
lose
getting Josh Wiley.
Huh?
They're getting Wiley.
I feel like they'll get a defensive tackle then Wiley.
No.
Watch out,
Wiley's
Robbie
not gonna be
Gold.
there. What?
David said, watch out, Robbie Gold.
Oh. Because the
Moody,
yeah.
I mean, if you're drafting a kicker in the 3rd round, yeah, I think you're expecting him to make the roster. Like, there's no, like, I would say, matter of fact, if you draft any special teams, like a punter or a kicker, they're most likely going to make the roster.
You would think.
Yeah. Like, picks are valuable. Even, like.
Oh, look at that draft room. They got some magnets.
But yeah, if I'm giving a grade to the Bengals, I'm going to give them a B.
Trey Tucker.
Huh?
Trey Tucker just got picked.
Wow. The
Nice.
Raiders, too. It makes sense, though. It makes
Damn.
sense. 4-3.
Trey Tucker,
It's 4-3. It's because he recorded a 4-3.
Hey, I know. I mean, we were constantly getting him in like the 6th or 7th round in our mocks.
Now that one hurts. That one hurts. Damn, Trey. Oh my God. I wanted him in
Doesn't hurt, man. Good for Trey Tucker,
No,
man.
I mean, yeah, no, honestly, good for him. That's amazing.
I'm surprised they went before Scott. but I mean, good for him, man.
Man, all these bombshells are happening. But okay,
Yeah.
B+ for me for the Bengals.
Okay. Dave, going to join voice here?
Yeah, I'm on voice.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's faster. So we're just freaking out over Trey Tucker getting picked in the 3rd round. He was projected to be a much lower pick, but I thought that people were
It's
sleeping
because
on
the
Trey
49ers
Tucker.
picked a kicker.
Yeah.
Made everyone else nervous.
So the Raiders were like, "Oh no, we better pick Trey Tucker."
Yeah.
All right, got to resize our screen.
Oh,
No, you're fine. You can go ahead. I'm just.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So who do you think the Vikings are going to get here?
I have no idea. I
Okay.
was praying for defense, but
Yeah.
they clearly have their own methods. But they got 3 more picks with that
Who have they
trade.
picked so far? I haven't even been paying attention to the Vikings in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Just the wide receiver, Jordan Addison.
They haven't picked in round 2?
They had no pick in round 2 because they traded that to Detroit with Hawkinson.
Oh, okay,
And
so they got
then,
Hawkinson for okay.
They
Yeah.
got Blackman, the corner.
Nice. There you go. Defense, right?
Yep.
defense.
Who how do you spell his name?
It's
Mackay?
yeah, I think it would be Mekhi, right? Mekhi.
Okay. Let's see here.
Blackman.
Corner.
Wow, Trey Tucker. That's crazy. I only think it's crazy because it was like consistently that the was it Scott was like drafted in like the 3rd.
Yeah, Tyler Scott. I mean, okay, there you go. Mackay Blackman. PFF rank of 184. He's a 4.47 speed. But they had him rated as the 4th best corner in college football in 2022.
Does he have like any specialty?
I don't know.
Like
They don't have anything on the analysis on Mackay Blackman on PFF.com is now here's a guy.
Oh,
But his coverage grade was
just a guy.
But his coverage grade was a 91.1. His run defense grade was a 79.4. And they had him ranked as the 4th best corner last year. So that's pretty good. So he must be like a good player, but not as great with the measurables.
yeah. I feel like anyone in the 3rd or first 3 rounds have like starter potential. Normally, if they slide a little bit, it's because there's some like either some type of like health concern or maybe like character issue.
Yeah, it might just be because he's older. He's 24.
Age is like, I feel like NFL really cares about the age.
Yeah. So he's 24.1 in terms of age. If you're going by tenths.
Wow, he's 24?
24.1.
Isn't that like the same age as Lamar Jackson?
I don't know, man. Let me Google it.
I think he might be 25. But it really doesn't matter. I mean, like, if you can get. Actually, I mean, corners, they can play like 10 to 15 years, right? I feel like they can.
Oh, this guy is a 4th round talent. Just look at the pick that he's being selected at, which is a special compensation or picks that are happening right now. So,
Yeah.
Do you want to be considered a low end 3rd round or a high end 4th? This is just the way you got to look at it.
High
right?
end 4th.
Yeah. It's better be the head of a snake than the tail of a dragon.
There you go.
So he is Lamar Jackson is 26 years old.
My bad.
So Mackay Blackman is younger than Lamar Jackson.
Oh, this is definitely filling a need because we've had departures in our secondary. So we lost our veteran leadership with Patrick Peterson not being with the team anymore. So
Where'd he go?
Did he go to the Steelers?
I can't remember. Let's see. Google it.
I really feel like he went to no.
Okay. So you're delaying, Josh.
What am I delaying? What?
I don't. Did you give the Bengals a grade?
Yeah, I said B
You said
plus.
something about that. A B plus?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Mr.
it's like,
optimistic.
well, yeah. I mean, can you argue against them? I mean, what did they do bad the last? Let's just say ever since they drafted Joe Burrow.
I'm gonna give him incomplete until they draft Josh Wiley, and then I'll give him an A.
Well, you got to give him something. I mean, it's like the first.
Is it incomplete?
Yeah, the Patrick Peterson signed with the Steelers.
Okay, I
So-
did remember that. I was supposed to because like I
Okay,
remember
yeah.
like Steelers fans being happy about that. I'm like, really? You're happy about Peterson?
He's old, but maybe he can just teach the young guys. I mean, don't they still have Fitzpatrick? So I mean,
I'm saying like
they have an ace there.
he's solid, but I mean like, are you really gonna expect him to cover like
Jamar Chase?
Yeah, Jamar
I
Chase
hope
or
they
Higgins.
try that. They should try
Well-
that. No. Steelers, listen to me. Listen to me. Do it. Patrick Peterson, Jamar Chase, 1-on-1. He can do it.
Yeah.
Just do that every game. Just try. Eventually it will work. Just keep doing it.
Well, the Vikings they relied on him as the number 2 corner, really.
Mhm.
And I think in his position in Pittsburgh, he'll be the number 3. He'll cover the slot guy or the tight ends. I mean, he's a wily old vet.
I tell you that.
So
Okay, so let me get back to grading. Well, you know what? You know what I need to do? I need to figure out what the Bengals traded.
Yeah, that's right. What did we get out of that? That should help your grade because like I'm pretty sure in your ideal mock you trade it down like 3 times.
Okay, so the Bengals trade down to wait. What's this? How the Bengals get okay, this is like a hypothetical. Sorry.
It has to be like a 7th or something like that. Or maybe like a round swap, right?
yeah, I think they got like something like the 222nd pick or something like that. If I saw it briefly.
The
So-
Bengals picked up pick number 217.
Oh, 217.
Okay.
217. So
So-
what's 217?
That's the 6th round?
Sixth round pick?
Yeah, that is the 6th round pick. Yep. So they have a second 6th rounder.
Ah, so we're drafting a punter. That's exactly what that tells me. So you got to look at Jordan Battle and think of the best punter.
Yeah, so they
In the
got
draft. No, I'm just
the 40th pick in the 6th round. They got Kansas City's 6th round compensatory pick.
Hmm.
Okay. So let me think about that trade then. We liked a lot of guys in the 6th round, but ironically, the guy
Trey
that
Tucker.
we were picking in the 6th round
It was Trey
was
Tucker. Yeah.
So had Trey Tucker not gotten picked, but in all seriousness, I do feel like this is a deep draft. So I like the idea of trading, but it's hard to get excited by a 6th round pick. So
Think TJ Hushmanzada.
I think this year's
um,
draft is kind of interesting actually because we're back to dealing with a couple years of full film and full schedules after the pandemic years. So there's a lot more film and knowledge about these players than there was what we were looking at the last couple years.
Yeah.
okay. Hmm. I mean, so to me, it's hard to knock the trade, except I was so mad that they didn't pick Darnell Washington. So again,
It's just like Kansas City needs another tight end, huh?
It was
what
the
did they
Steelers
pick
that
another?
no
Oh
no
no, the Steelers picked the tight end.
yeah I think
I was
actually
just did they?
Washington got a tackle.
Okay, so I'm upset about the third round. So I'm not gonna consider the third round because I consider it incomplete until I see who we get, which I think is fair.
So
Rounds 1 and 2, I'm gonna give them an A minus.
A minus.
No.
That's
I'm not
pretty
gonna give them
good.
A minus. I'm gonna give them an A. First 2 rounds, I think it's an A because
That's pretty good.
I thought after all the mocks we did, I thought the way that the mock draft boards were falling, the Bengals could best fill their needs if they went with a defensive lineman in the first round, right? Because the ones that turned out the best were the ones where we had them getting either an edge or defensive tackle, right? And then we had them picking a corner sometimes in the first round, and we liked DJ Turner for his. Did I say that right? Is it DJ Turner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speed.
So we were thinking that they would pick the guy in the second round that they picked. So we like that because he fits the system. He's fast. You know, he's basically the type of player that it seems like Lou Anarumo likes for our defense. So I like the idea of getting a corner. You hedge. You know, we think Awuzie is going to be back, but you know, maybe he doesn't have to rush back, right? So because you have the pieces in place to you know, you have the depth, right? You have the depth and you have the future. But I
Well,
mean, they did great with their picks in the set. I mean, I can't think of a single bad move the Bengals have made with Lou Anarumo as a defensive coordinator with defensive backs. So like I just trust them implicitly, right? So I like the idea of um DJ with the defensive end. So I like those picks. And I guess I've kind of boxed myself in. I have to like the safety then too, right? Because they've done such a good job in the secondary finding players. So, you know, I'll give it an A minus for rounds 1 through 3, but with the caveat that if it ends up working out and the Bengals get a tight end we like, then I think it's a good pick because I think that 6th rounder is going to turn into someone that can play, right?
like, yeah, no. Like I thought I was grading easy, but I feel like you're grading pretty easy. But no, that's good. I feel like you're pretty optimistic if you're giving them A or just an A or A minus. But
well, yeah, A minus for rounds 1 through 3.
But also you got
for
to look
rounds
at
1 and 2.
the DJ Turner and the Murphy pick as potential 3rd and 4th round compensatory picks too, because
Yeah,
we're most likely gonna let Hendrickson and Uzi, Cheeto walk, and they're probably gonna get pretty decent contracts. I feel like they would at least give us a 3rd or 4th, so like we're kind of getting the replacements, right?
mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, but I like the Murphy pick because
yeah, I like it a lot after the day after.
I just think that I just find it very coincidental that both Murphy and Brazee had the same arc in terms of their college careers. They were awesome as freshmen, and then their third years, junior years, were, you know, people are like, well, how come they're not as good as they were when they were freshmen, right? And it's just like, well, Clemson had like an elite defensive coordinator, right? And he left to go coach Oklahoma. So you got these guys that were coached up in a system, trying to learn a new system. You know what I mean? You have like 2 like elite 5-star recruits who were awesome and then you change the system on them, and they had not as spectacular of years. The fact that both of them did it gives me hope that maybe the drop in production is more kind of scheme related and not so much player related. And then, like maybe the Bengals got a steal. So I'm pretty optimistic about it. And
I think the Bengals feel like they got a steal because
I think it's the fact that New Orleans also picked Broz right after the Bengals lends credence to that kind of theory that like maybe the drop in production of those two dudes was more because the coach left and maybe there was a drop in coaching talent at Clemson than it was like there was an issue with the players. You know what I mean?
I'm sure coaching has like an effect to it to a certain degree, but I don't know.
It wasn't just a coach though. I mean, like the coach was like an elite coach. Can you think of his name? I can't think of his name right now, but he was considered like the best defensive coordinator in college football, or one of the best, right? Who's the best, but one of the best, right? He's like basically, I mean, he went from defensive coordinator, head coach at Oklahoma. That's how highly he's regarded in college football. And you lose that guy. I don't think it's a coincidence that the two stud defensive linemen take a bit of a step back or plateau because they lose that kind of coaching, right? That kind of scheming, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not even like. I think you kind of have to look at the upside too, like if there's potential for growth as well, and I think they see it because he's also still pretty young. Like he's only 21, and then I think the fact that he's 6'5" and he runs what? Did he run a 4.4 or was it a 4.5?
I don't think I don't know. I could tell you. Let me look it up.
I think. What was it?
4.55.
Okay, yeah, it was comparable to what's his face? The guy that signed with the Bills, I think. What's his face?
The guy from Texas A&M.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the chicken farmer.
Yeah, but that just shows you like how fast
chicken
he is.
Guy.
And then they said his split was elite. Like the first 10 yards, is that what the split is?
Yeah.
So it tells you he gets off the ball pretty damn quick. So like I'm pretty excited about it. I think he's just kind of like another version of Hendrickson, but probably faster.
I love those comparisons. He's like the Pro Bowl guy, but like faster and taller, and a little bit stronger. And
No,
also,
I just like
when
it's a very simplistic comparison, and the only reason why I say that is just because they play violent,
hey man,
right?
I get it. We specialize in simplistic analysis. That's us. That's our corner.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's not rocket science, right? So, but he's just violent. You just watch him and he just like pushes people back, and that's to me like Hendrickson, where he's got like that. I don't know if they have the same type of motor where like like when you watch Hendrickson, he just never stops, type deal. But
yeah,
at the same time, but like you just watch him play, he just plays violent. That's what I like about him, and like he's the type of guy that's going to push people back. It's the same thing with Hendrickson. So it's going to be nice. I see what they're doing, and then just like if we go into the playoffs, having that 4-man rotation at defensive end is gonna make a big difference, especially in like the second half of the games.
It's gonna make a huge difference.
Yeah,
huge difference because I mean, the Bengals just seemed last year like they were one man short with the defensive pass rush rotation, right? It just seemed like Hendrickson was giving you everything he had, and he was like a little dinged up through the season. And if you took like, a few snaps a game off of his body, he would be that much better in the playoffs, right? Because the Bengals were essentially like one play away from making the Super Bowl last year. So,
we're gonna have a really strong rotation. Like the majority.
So that's why I like Murphy, and then I like DJ Turner because somebody's going to have to win. People are going to have to compete to get on the field at cornerback, right? Because you have Awuzie coming back. They signed a corner, right? You drafted a corner in the second round. You have Cam Taylor-Britt. You know, somebody's got, and we got Mike Hilton's penciled in for sure at slot, right? So you got you have two positions and 4 guys that have to battle for that position, right? So two guys are gonna have to be the backups. So I like being in that spot where you have an abundance of talent at like a premier spot.
Yeah, I wonder if Battle's just considered a safety. I wonder if he's like considered if he can play like in the nickel or in the dime as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like if that's the case, then it makes sense, a lot of sense why they picked him in the third.
Yeah, they have him listed as a safety. So, but even so, it's the same deal at safety though. You got 3 dudes who could start competing for 2 spots, right? That's how iron sharpens iron, right?
No, that's why I said this is why I like the draft, is because it's establishing the depth. And then
Well, I'd like to remind you, I gave him a higher grade than you, so
I know I don't your grades don't make sense to me. It seemed like you were like more down on the draft than I was, but I feel like B is
no, I wasn't down on the draft. So don't get me wrong. Look, like my disappointment is that I didn't predict it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's not that like it's not like I find any fault with what they're doing. It's just like I wanted them to pick the players that I said they were going to pick. You know what I mean?
I like it in the sense because again, it is a lot different than I think what most people expected or at least visualized. But at the same time, you see the direction that they're going.
Am I most people?
I'm just saying, like from what I observed, just in a lot of my observations, like from Twitter. Well,
okay.
Well, I guess you're one aspect of it, but I do go through like Twitter and look through the 100 different mocks that everyone has, and it's funny to see all the different variations. That's why like some of these picks were like kind of like an unexpected. Well, I think some people expected the DJ Turner because that was very reasonable. I think the first round pick. Yeah, like that. Like the more
that guy's fast, sub 4.3 in the 40s. So
yeah, no,
he's fast. You need that right now.
Well, he's the only knock on him is that he doesn't really have length, and he's not like a big bodied corner, but he's got the speed and he's a playmaker.
The Bengals love short corners, though.
They don't necessarily love short corners.
Yeah, they do.
No, I think
who's our best corner?
Huh? Cam. Taylor-Britt.
Cam Taylor-Britt. He's short. Yeah,
he's not short.
He's not 6 foot.
Well, I mean, I think they go, but you have to think of arm length too. I think that's really important for corners.
Okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to look at.
You're on PFF?
2022 data.
But yeah, no, I agree. I like the pick. Like I said, like the more I understand the picks, the more I get an idea of what the Bengals are trying to do. They're just establishing the depth, and we're preparing for the future. And we got our 2 potential future starters. So
so Cam Taylor-Britt's 5'11".
Yeah, that's I would say that's probably tall for corner. I think the average height for corners are like 5'10".
Well, DJ Turner's 5'11".
Okay.
So I consider that short. Is that wrong?
5. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was shorter than Cam Taylor-Britt. That's weird.
Same size.
Weird, because I thought Zach Taylor said he was smaller than Cam Taylor-Britt, but
he may be. He may be. And now I'm looking up Chidobe. He's 6 foot, 202, which is not that far away from 5'11".
No, I find that most corners are a bit shorter because like the average height for receiver I think is like 6'2" and above.
Yeah.
And then corner, I've always saw that are like 5'10", 5'11", maybe 6 foot. And I think part of it is that to be a really dynamic corner or I guess
Okay, so
DB,
Mike
you got to be
Hilton's
quick.
5'9".
And usually the taller you are, you're not as quick. That's another reason why I went Deuce Vaughn.
Yes.
It's because like he's so
Yes.
low to the ground, it'd be miserable to tackle.
If the Bengals pick Deuce, okay, listen to me, Bengals. You want to get the A+, you got to get Josh Wiley and Deuce Vaughn. And like bonus points if you get Deuce Vaughn with the pick that you traded, you got in the trade, but not necessary.
Man, I just can't believe Trey Tucker went in the third. I mean,
I believe it.
I'm not like surprised in the sense that like, because in a way I was kind of weirded out that like he was going so low because I just kept on thinking like
that just was stupid to me. There
were so many like mock drafts where he wasn't even drafted at all. Like,
yeah, I think when you get past like the top 100 ranked players, that there's a lot of noise in the data, you know? Like having watched Trey Tucker play, I mean, he's just looked like an NFL player, right? And we were picking him in the 6th round because that's when it told us, that's when the algorithm told us we could pick him, you know? We didn't want to get an F- for picking Trey Tucker in the 3rd round, right?
no, because Scott was consistently going in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah.
That was the pattern. It was like Scott, then Wiley, and then Tucker.
Yeah, but I mean, you
like,
know,
I guess in terms of receiving options.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I want the Bengals to pick Deuce Vaughn, and then they need to do some kind of like heavy ad campaign with Mike Hilton and Deuce Vaughn. That would be the deal, you know?
Yeah. I feel like 4th round they almost got to pick an offensive
They should
player.
do like Uncle
Unless they
Drew.
get a defensive tackle.
They should do like an Uncle. Okay, so they need to draft Deuce Vaughn, and then you have Mike Hilton and Deuce Vaughn do like Uncle Drew stuff, and like go to parks, and like join pickup football games, and just like be, you know, because they could get away with it because they're not giant looking. And just like completely, I just want to see like videos of
I would imagine
those
like
dudes.
Deuce Vaughn in like, I bet his legs would look like tree trunks. Like,
Mm-hmm.
'cause I feel like he's pretty stout for being like a shorter guy.
I'm just thinking of just like the level of quickness you have to be his size and be able to play like high level Division I football.
No, he's a freak because like when I was watching
I
his
just want
highlights,
to I just want to see him put moves on like normal dudes. I want to see people like lose ACLs and blow out Achilles and stuff trying to catch him.
yeah, no, his lateral quickness is crazy. He just doesn't seem to like when he's shifting gears or like when he's moving, it doesn't seem like he's losing speed much. But I don't know. He seems to be sneaky strong too, because like there's been several times where like he'll run into someone and then like he just runs through the tackle, and and the people that are tackling him are like linebackers and like people that are like twice his size. So like it just tells me he's a lot stronger than what you would think he is if he's like consistently doing that. But yeah, I guess I mean, is there anything you want to add to the draft or anything else you want to talk about?
No. I mean it's a watershed moment. I gave a higher grade than you. So
Yeah, no, I feel like my grade is pretty high too. I mean, but I guess I don't know. I just don't want to give an A because I feel like I don't know. That's not realistic. but I feel like B is pretty.
I mean, we ran so many mock drafts, and never was Miles Murphy an option for us at 28. He was always gone.
I guess the way you kind of have to look at it too is like it's not necessarily when someone was picked, but also like who was available when that person was picked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's what makes grading drafts so tough is that you don't really know the grade until a few years after the fact, right? Until you actually see the results. Because like,
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, Nolan Smith was a higher rated prospect on our board, right? Which we didn't put any work into. We just looked at what PFF said. So, but I mean, part of me is like, well, if Nolan Smith were chasing, to me, Nolan Smith is like a fast Joseph Osai. You know what I mean? It's like the same dude, only instead of like 4.6, 4.7 speed, you got 4.3 speed, right? And it's just like if Nolan Smith were chasing after Patrick Mahomes on that last play, where would he have gotten tackled? You know what I mean? So it was a little bit of a. We were like, okay, either Nolan Smith or Michael Mayer, and
right?
then they pick Miles Murphy. But I still think that both of those defensive ends should not have been available at that point. So to get that level of an edge rusher at 28, when I think we would agree that the Bengals could have used an upgrade in pass rush, I don't see how you not give it an A.
Yeah. So like, I guess that's my biggest struggle on this draft would be the Jordan Battle pick. Like again, I'm sure it's a phenomenal pick. Like especially if
That's a
I
third round pick. It doesn't count as much as the first round pick.
no, it doesn't. But you can still get a lot of value. Like you can still find really strong players in the third round. Because like for instance, right, we traded down and we could have gotten Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like there's
Yeah,
that,
that was a disappointment. That was a
or
disappointment.
we could have got DeJuan Jones potentially, but obviously
They still could get him.
yeah, they still can get him. That's actually a big concern. The fact that he's dropped this far, that's a problem.
I just
Like,
want to see that. I want to see them get.
I mean, in the
DeJuan
fourth
Jones.
round, that has to be extreme value.
I want to see them get DeJuan Jones, right, and then kick. Oh, I can't think of his name. Who's the right tackle?
Right now, you talking about Collins or
Yeah, kick Collins the left guard. Draft DeJuan Jones. Put him at right tackle. So
oh
now we
yeah,
got
the biggest line ever.
the biggest line ever.
Well, the funny part is that Volson's pretty big too, because he's like 6'7" and like.
Can Volson catch? Maybe we have him play tight end.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah,
that works for me.
All right, Dave. Any final thoughts, Dave? We've been.
No, as a Vikings fan, I'm very jealous of your draft because you have good defensive players coming to your team.
There you go.
Well, do you guys need a tackle?
We need everything because there's a lot of rumors floating around that this may be the last year with Daniil Hunter and Zacharias Smith. So we're in trouble.
I heard I don't know. I don't want to say this because this might be disrespectful, but I heard there's 2 really good quarterbacks coming out next year. Do you think there's any potential that like the Vikings tank and potential get it like a QB next year early?
I absolutely, yeah. I think that Kirk Cousins is ending his career sooner than later with the Vikings, just because the amount of money that he's been is cap restraining the team. So there's other players that I think they're going to try to move on to. So
well, is
this
he
organization seems to have this frugal sense about it right now. So
is he like locked in this year for sure, but next year he's expendable?
Yeah. He's under contract this year.
Okay. That's interesting.
I don't know. I like Kirk Cousins because he's like one of our first sound drops ever. Back when we were
Yeah.
opening cards, it was like Kirk Cousins.
No,
Well,
I get it though. Like, as a fan of a team, you just want to see your team hit the full potential, and it just sucks when it's not going your way potentially. But who knows? I don't know. Anything can happen. It's weird. The NFL's weird.
well, I felt like Detroit made the decision for us with their pick of Hendon Hooker. That was pretty. It's like Jared Goff, you're on notice.
I feel like he's
It's
always
like,
been on notice though.
Yeah. Well, after last year, man, I mean, why would you
Yeah.
even consider needing another?
Yeah.
You had a backup already signed. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, the most telling thing was when Jared Goff did the thing where he dressed up and pretended to be like a JUCO transfer, and the joke worked.
Oh,
Yeah.
And like, then Chris Bryant dressed up to be like a walk on at a JV or not JV junior college baseball team. They're like, "Is that Chris Bryant?"
yeah, that's right. They were just playing along to make him feel better. No, it's been an interesting draft though. I feel like every year is interesting, but this one feels even more interesting for so many reasons.
Well, you can definitely see what the Steelers are doing, trying to catch the Bengals. So they are trying to get that offense going. So
I think they're having a solid draft though. I mean, they're definitely addressing some of their major issues. So I think they're low key having a pretty solid draft.
I think they're totally on the treadmill of mediocrity. So keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, I was a very big Dalton supporter back in the day, and it's just like,
We love Andy Dalton, man. We
no, I
love
mean
him.
he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He did what he could do, but
Yeah. I mean, think of how much fun we had when he lost his luggage.
but when you get like a Joe Burrow type quarterback, it changes your whole outlook of things. I mean,
Mhm.
it obviously feels like very similar to Palmer, but it just feels so much more than Palmer too. Like, I don't know.
Well,
I guess part
'cause
of it was
Palmer never won a playoff game, so that's part of it.
well, that, and it was just like the way it ended was very weird, and I don't know. It just, because that happened, I feel like the Bengals organization learned a lot, and they're in a position where they don't want it to happen again. And it's just like,
Well, that's because they got the daughters and granddaughters calling the shots now.
yeah,
Got Katie Blackburn in charge, it seems. So that's the other thing. The fact that the Bengals did not pick Michael Mayer leads me to believe that Mike Brown is not calling the shots anymore.
see, if he was calling the shot, he would have been like me, and we would have traded up to
He
like
would've
16.
traded up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
for
would have
Michael.
lost a
I
6th-round
just
pick.
feel like Mike Brown would have like drove into the draft room in his golf cart and like slapped the phone out of somebody's hand and grabbed it and said Michael Mayer and hang up.
It always makes me really like anxious when he parks so close to like the practice field when he's watching games or like practice.
Mhm.
Like, why are you so close to the field? Like,
Can't see, man.
well, but I'm just always seeing players get so close to him. Like, isn't he afraid like someone's gonna like run into it awkwardly and like,
Oh, like run into the
Him in
golf
half?
cart?
yeah, like, break a leg or like tear their knee up just because like a golf cart is just right off obscurely right next to the sidelines. Like, like,
Yeah.
but maybe they just adjust and they're like, oh, he's back. And they just move
Oh
practice
no,
over
he's
a little
back.
bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can't run that route anymore.
Yeah.
No more out routes.
Yeah.
He's just always so close, and he's just got like that look about him.
Yeah.
It's just weird because he never moves his head. So like, what is he looking at? The ball
thinking.
moves.
What?
I said the ball moves.
What moves?
The ball. So like your head
What
can
ball?
never be stationary.
Oh, the football moves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you watch him, like he just is just sitting
Maybe
there
it's like
stoic.
Yoda. He doesn't need to look. He can just feel where the ball is.
That makes sense. Maybe he's just watching the coaches and he's evaluating how the coaches coach.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I guess we got to end it there, man.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. But yeah, thank you, Dave, for stopping by.
You.
All right. Have a good one.
Night.